Hey everyone, welcome back to Code of the Row. In this video, we're going to be continuing our ACF to sci-fi Synty stuff, creating our ACF shooter project, and let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to do is actually just change my hit marker. So when I, for example, take out my pistol and right click, you'll see this hit cursor. Yours might be a little different. It's probably a little smaller, but yeah, let's go ahead and change that. So what I'm going to do is just go over to my WPP HUD and look for some sort of target icon from Synty. All right, so I'm gonna pick something from here. I think I'll just add. Let's do this one. It's the sci-fi frame round B, or actually, you know what? Let's do round D. This one. So I'm just gonna paste that name in. Select this. It's gonna be kind of big, so I'm just scale this down to something like 60 by 60, and it'll clear up in a second. And this looks good to me. Let me just hit compile and see what it actually looks like. So it's okay. I think this looks fine. And I'll just play around with this. I feel like it's actually not thick enough, so I'm going to actually get a thicker bordered image. So I'm going to open up this HUD folder again and look for something, maybe something that just kind of looks bolded, I guess. So I'll try this one, this reticle circle. Now when I hit compile and right click, so this is actually a bit more clear and visible to me, so I'm going to stick with this one. And that's how you simply change your cursor. And if you want to see the functionality of your cursor, you're going to go over to your ACF, go to your aim function, click on this parent. It should take you to the ACF base player. I'm going to click parent again. And then you'll see this aim function. It'll activate your locomotion stand so you're facing forward, activate the camera event to zoom in a bit using the camera manager, and then it'll show the crosshair and set aiming to true, and so on. And that's just a brief overview on why or how this aim cursor is showing. So I actually want to set up a way so that we can have hit markers. And in order to add a hit marker, I'm just going to go over to my full sample HUD, right click, create a user interface, WBP, or user widget blueprint, and create a widget blueprint called hit marker underscore WBP. And I'll just double click to open this up. And all I'm going to add here is just another image. So for the hit marker, let's see if I can find something online. Free hit marker PNG. So I can link this I'll link this in the description below, but I'm just going to look for kind of a simple hit marker and download this. And once that's done downloading, I'll just drag this into my project. And I'll probably put this in the sci-fi folder just to keep my HUD stuff organized. The Synty sci-fi HUD folder. And I'll put this under the HUD stuff. And I'll just click move here. And I'll go back on my hit marker. And actually, I'm just going to add an image down here. And I'll just select that image. And it's going to be too big. So I'm just going to right click and wrap this with a scale box. And I'm going to narrow this down to something like 60 by 60. Oh, I actually need to scale down the scale box itself, not the image itself. So I'm going to scale this to something like, let's do 0.2 by 0.2. I think it's going to have to be quite a bit smaller as well. So I'm actually going to do, let's do 0.05 by 0.05. And I'll just test this size out for now. But before I do that, I want to add an animation of this hitbox. So what I'm going to do is head over to the window tab, make sure animations is checked. And now you'll see animations appear at the bottom. And all I want to do is just adjust the opacity of this hit marker to start from 0 to 1 to 0. So it'll just flicker. So I'll click plus animation and I'll just call this something like fade. And I'll click on fade and then I'm going to click on this plus to add a track. And the track of this will be image underscore 30, which I'm actually going to change the name to something like hit marker, just so it's more clear and readable. So I'm going to click add hit marker, and then I'll click this plus sign on the right of it and add a track for color and opacity. And I'll expand this color opacity and I'll set this to something like 0 at first, and then it's gonna, I actually want to zoom in by holding control and mouse wheeling in. So I think at 0.1, I'm going to set the alpha to 1. And then at 0.2, I'm going to set the alpha back to 0 just to hide it. So that when we play it, it's just going to play this really quick hit marker, just like that. This looks good to me, so let's try this out. Let's try adding this to our ACF pistol. So I'm going to go back to my ultimate map, go over to content, and just search for that ACF pistol and double click to open this up. And once this blueprint is open, you're going to see quite a few things in your event graph, which is going to be event begin play. You're actually just going to see event begin play. So when I open up ACF Pistol, you're going to see event begin play, parented to the event begin play, and event on item equipped. So for this, I'm just going to click on my shooting component and scroll down till I see events and look for, I'm going to click on my collision component and look at my events and look for on actor damaged. So this one. And pretty much on actor damage, there are a few things that I need to do, but I actually want to set up my hit marker on item equipped because I'm going to actually give each of my weapons or different weapon types to have different hit markers. So after the parent on item equipped, I'm going to drag this out and look for create widget. And the widget is going to reference that hit marker that we created. So I'm going to look for hit marker WBP like so. And the owning player will just be our get local ACF player controller. And then I'm going to right click and just promote this to a variable so that we can reuse this and it'll automatically create our object reference to our hit marker WBP. And I'll call this variable something like hit marker WBP. And now for my on actor damage, I'm just going to drag this out and look for an is valid node with a question mark, and it's usually at the very bottom. And if our hit marker WBP is valid, so I'm going to drag this out get hit marker WBP. If this is valid, then we just want to add this to the viewport. So I'm going to drag this out and look for add to viewport and connect is valid to this. And we're going to play the animation that we created. So I'm actually going to drag out from hit marker WBP again and look for play animation. And now we want to get the animation. And if you click on this drop down, you're not going to see anything. And that's because when we drag out from our hit marker widget blueprint, we want to get fade or whatever you called your animation. And for number of loops, just leave it as 1 because we want this to just play the animation and then destroy. Playback speed, everything else can be set to default. Just make sure number of loops to play is set to 1. And now if I were to compile this and try this out, I'll hit play and I'll take out my pistol. And now if I shoot anything where collision is detected, so this includes the walls, I think it includes the floors. Yeah, it'll play this hit marker animation. So I'll show you. So you'll see my hit marker like so. And we got that working pretty easily actually. All right, so in the last video, I talked about getting sci-fi worlds. I got this, and I also got the Cyber City pack. So for the rest of this video, I'm just going to be going over these 2 packs and possibly make a few changes to my skeletal mesh and stuff if there are any cool characters. I'm sure there is a ton, but these are probably one of the biggest Synty packs, especially this one. This is a huge Synty pack. Over 20 new characters, 77 attachments, almost 300 buildings, over 400 props, and yeah, just a ton. This might be the biggest pack Synty has to offer. But yeah, let me import this to my project real quick, and then we can do a little showcase of what these packs have to offer. I'm actually really excited to merge these because this finally completes my full sci-fi Synty kit. I have every single sci-fi asset they have to offer. All right, so I imported those and back to my on actor damage on my ACF pistol. I did it is not valid, then it just removes this widget from the parent. I'm not sure if this is any better than just dragging out the hit marker WBP and then right clicking and converting this to a validated get. All right, so I'm going through the demo presentations or the maps, and this actually looks sick. I love how this portal looks. Holy crap. Oh, this looks amazing. Yeah, this map looks amazing. I'm really loving how these assets turned out. This is huge. Holy crap. I didn't even notice the worlds and the bones and stuff there. And this is another level with some flying rock effects, a giant base. That looks really sick. Oh, this is what we saw on the other side of that portal too, right? We saw it from like this angle. That's actually pretty sick. And this is the Sci-Fi World Scavenger map. There are just a ton of different themes you can build with this. A Syntanium. Nice. I see what they did there. Lots of parking garage, RV. This kind of reminds me of StarCraft a bit if this was an RTS. One thing I do like though, there are bosses and enemies. So for example, there's this giant alien creature with multiple skins, of course. Comes with its own skeleton. Oh wow, what is this? This rock-looking monster. We'll incorporate bosses into the game, get into AI and stuff and so on. And quite a few characters, like the space guy. And they come with attachments separately, so it makes it really easy to incorporate into ACF. There are backpacks that you can attach like this, an oxygen tank, which is actually pretty cool. Beards, if you're going to do a character creator, some knives, gas masks, hats, and so on. And we can really customize our character however we want. And now let's go over the Synty Sci-Fi, the Cyber City pack. And this is the demo map of the Cyber City by Synty. And I guess I can just escape this and see the whole city. Oh, wow. This looks really cool. There's a train that goes on these light tracks. Whoa, there's a lot. Whoa, what the? And I was checking out the characters in this pack. There is actually a little helper dog thing, which is pretty cool. So maybe we can do some companion component with this. More characters with customization, so we can add beard and helmet attachments and make it look however we want. And this looks like, oh, never mind. This is like the Synty version of the epic skeleton. That's actually pretty cool. And some maybe mobs. I don't know. He looks like an ally too. Some robots. Oh, this actually looks pretty sick. Streetwear, streetwear cyberpunk type vibes. What is this? It looks amazing. Yeah, and they even added a cat. So now I'm just gonna grab all the skeletal meshes and just assign it to that Synty polygon character. Uncheck this by holding control and left clicking. And I'm just gonna go back to my ultimate map and open up my ACF ultimate player character. And I'm just gonna change my character to something like, I guess something else. I'll probably be changing this throughout the series just because they all work. And I'll just do something like this for now. Now I'll hit play, and this looks pretty sick to me. So for this tutorial today, we've gone over changing the target cursor as well as hit markers, and hit markers will change per weapon. And one more thing I want to go over is actually just your left hand weapon IK. So let me actually just close everything to the right of this. So I'm just going to right click, close tabs to the right. And now when you open your ACF pistol, you can assign where your character is holding it by. So I'm going to just equip this, hold this out, and hold right click. And while I'm holding right click, I'm going to click F8. And you're going to see that my hand's a bit off, and that's totally fine. All you need to do is open that ACF weapon pistol. Actually, it looks fine, kind of. And under left hand IK, I'm going to go to viewport, and I can just adjust this accordingly. So for example, if I move my hand out here, my character, you can see the changes going live on my character. So I'm just going to move this a little forward. And yeah, this looks fine to me. So I'm just going to stop playing, compile this, save, and then try it again. So now when I hit play and right click and take this out and hit F8, I'll play around with the settings a little bit, but I think for the most part, it does look kind of fine. That's pretty much how you adjust your left hand IK. And yeah, thanks for watching Coded Throw. Like, subscribe, comment below what you want to see next. In the next video, we're probably going to be going over some equipment, adding some attachments, and we'll probably be changing our gun meshes too, but that might be the video after. And yeah, thanks for watching.